Since Wonder Woman 1984 doesn't set up Wonder Woman 3, fans are curious about what the future holds for Gal Gadot's Diana Prince. So stay with us until the end to find out. The debut of Wonder Woman was celebrated widely by both critics and audiences in 2017. Fans were doubtful before the film's release because of the unimpressive reception to Zack Snyder's Batman vs. Superman: Dawn of Justice and Gadot's inexperience in leading roles. Because it was a female-led solo project, the movie beat out the Marvel Cinematic Universe to become a cultural touchstone for recent comic book filmmaking. The sequel, Wonder Woman 1984, received mixed reviews from critics and audiences, even though it was released at the beginning of the COVID-19 pandemic. The movie had one of the highest initial ratings in the DC Extended Universe when compared to its predecessors, but that number has steadily dropped since its release. In addition to the numbers gradually decreasing, Rotten Tomatoes even modified its consensus statement after the movie's release, which is extremely uncommon. It's somewhat concerning that the numbers have dropped so much for a film that had an astounding 93% at its peak on the website, but now the film no longer qualifies as fresh. Even though Wonder Woman 1984 has a rating that is roughly in the middle of the DCEU, the fact that it has dropped over 30% indicates that critics are growing more doubtful of Jenkins' follow-up. When compared to the other DCEU films, the film isn't necessarily considered a failure, but the majority of reviews indicate that it didn't live up to its predecessor. Warner Bros. Announced on December 27, 2020, that Patty Jenkins, who wrote and directed the sequel, would also write and direct a third film starring Gal Gadot. The third film is separate from the Wonder Woman spin-off, which will concentrate on the Amazons, which was previously announced. While Jenkins will produce that film, she won't be directing it. Instead, it will be connected to the events that occur between the second and third films. There have been rumors that Wonder Woman 3 has been canceled by Warner Bros. And DC because it doesn't align with the advanced vision that James Gunn and Peter Safran have for the future of the cinematic universe. James Gunn confirmed several theories about which DCEU actors would stay in his new franchise, and which might not be returning for additional projects, when he revealed several projects included in the first chapter of the DCU, titled Gods and Monsters, at the end of January. But Wonder Woman was one of the few heroes who didn't appear at all in the franchise's initial lineup, amid all the announcements and reveals. Gunn reportedly didn't completely cancel the sequel, but claimed Jenkins' working story didn't fit with the new plans for the DC universe. Since then, there has been no word on the project, raising the possibility that it won't happen at all. Before we go any further, we wanted to let you know that it's time for you to smash that like button if you haven't done so already. Even if director Patty Jenkins decides not to return, Warner Bros. And DC Studios reportedly still intend to produce Wonder Woman 3, with Gal Gadot as the lead. The movie series and Wonder Woman are in an ideal position for a soft reboot if Gal Gadot decides to return for Wonder Woman 3. Although Patty Jenkins had plans for 2 additional Wonder Woman films and a potential spin-off, one could make the case that Wonder Woman 1984 serves as a satisfying conclusion to Diana's story. Gadot's desire to continue playing Diana Prince is obvious, given that she's expressed her enthusiasm for the role of Wonder Woman over the past few years, and teased future plans just one day before the Wonder Woman 3 rumor mill started. Now, with a new creative team, new location, new love interest, and a new status quo for the DCU, that's possible. Since Robin Wright, Connie Nielsen, and Chris Pine appeared in the first 2 films, it's possible that they could make an appearance in Wonder Woman 3. If it happens, Kristen Wiig might also make an appearance, playing Cheetah again as she did in Wonder Woman 1984. Many believe that the least Gunn could have done for the movie was to have it take place in a different timeline, one that was more appropriate for their future plans. The cancellation is especially shocking in light of the enormous boost that 2017's Wonder Woman provided to the DC universe during its early, difficult years. Wonder Woman demonstrated that there was hope for the DC Extended Universe to survive after the underwhelming reception to films like Batman vs. Superman: Dawn of Justice and Suicide Squad. It was received with critical acclaim and experienced enormous success at the box office. During the COVID-19 pandemic, the sequel, Wonder Woman 1984, was the first significant film to have a direct HBO Max premiere. Sadly, the response was considerably less enthusiastic as mentioned before. Fans had been expecting Wonder Woman 3 to wrap up the trilogy, but now their hopes have been replaced by concerns about Wonder Woman's future in the DC Universe, a potential reboot, and an HBO Max series that focuses on the Amazons. The suggested Wonder Woman 3 has a script that was submitted to Warner Bros., but little is known about the plot. Jenkins claimed that she was prepared to revisit the plot after realizing that it didn't fit with the DCU's plans. But she was misled into thinking that this particular Wonder Woman interpretation offered no prospects for advancement. The existence of a Wonder Woman spin-off film centered on Amazonians was previously announced. Additionally, it was known that Linda Carter, who played Wonder Woman in the well-liked 1970s television series, would reprise the role for Wonder Woman 3 after being hinted at in the post-credit scene of Wonder Woman 1984 as the Amazon warrior Asteria. The cancellation of Wonder Woman 3 suggests that the project is also not moving forward as previously expected, after there has been no news about it for a considerable amount of time. But an HBO Max series called Paradise Lost, with a Themyscira setting, was announced as part of the DCU's Chapter 1 Gods and Monsters slate. The series is a Game of Thrones-style drama, according to James Gunn, and is set in an all-female warrior society many years before Diana. It's unclear whether this is an upcycled version of the original Wonder Woman spin-off project or a brand new endeavor. According to the reports regarding the cancellation of Wonder Woman 3, the movie was only put on hold because Patty Jenkins left the project, since the studio wasn't happy with her initial story procedure. The best course of action would be for WB to work out a compromise with Patty Jenkins, or to find new directors, given the success of Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman and the DCU's rumored desire for her to continue to star in Wonder Woman movies. Gal Gadot should continue to play Wonder Woman as one of the DCU's leading superheroes, and Wonder Woman 3 can and should still be produced. The story procedure for the third movie may have been another potentially diversive entry, like Wonder Woman 1984, because WB probably wanted another critically and commercially successful crowd pleaser, like 2017's Wonder Woman. Finding new writers and directors may be their best option if Patty Jenkins won't budge. But if Gal Gadot won't keep playing Diana Prince without Jenkins, WB will need to try and convince both of them to stay. Despite the cancellation of Wonder Woman 3, Gal Gadot and her Wonder Woman continue to be one of DC's biggest film successes, so she must stay in the franchise while staying true to the DCU's new direction. It's somewhat upsetting from a creative perspective that Jenkins won't be able to realize her vision for Diana. That's why you should smash that subscribe button and ring that notification bell, so that you'll never miss any of our videos in the future. A drastic rethink was clearly required, though given the challenging position the DCU was in before Gunn and Safran's arrival, it took a certain amount of ruthlessness on the part of the new DC heads to carry out their plan successfully. In the case of Wonder Woman 3, the unfortunate outcome was probably unavoidable. Whether the new course will be successful remains to be seen. See you in the next video.